Hey there everybody, it's Jackie here from stampingjack.com. It is session 2 of our live catalogue launch party today, the 15th of January. So if you missed it, our last session, which you can catch on the replay, was going through the brand new January to June mini catalogue. So we went through it page by page, showed you some of the products and some samples and gave you my top picks and all sorts of lovely stuff. I also talked about some of our things that are going on at the moment. So we've got paper share, monthly stamp club, we've got our prize draw to win £50 shopping spree, and we've got remembering to pick your numbers for tonight's bingo night. So hi Diane, welcome. So I've put posts in since I went live this morning just about each of these, so you can find out more. Make sure to sign up. Main thing is to make sure to pick your numbers for bingo night tonight. That starts at 8 o'clock. And how that works is we do a few rounds of bingo, and we have some crafting, and obviously we have prizes for the bingo. All you need to do, it's free. All you need to do is in the post that looks like this on my Facebook page, just pick any number, any 5 numbers from 1 to 25, and they're the numbers that you'll play with tonight. So what's on the agenda now is I'm going to go through the celebration catalogue, and I'm going to have some crafting for you, some ideas with some of the stuff that's in here. So the mini catalogue runs all the way through till June, but celebration runs just for January and February. And those of you who are familiar with celebration know all about this. This is a great promotion that we run twice a year. For every £45 that you spend, you get to pick a free item from this little mini catalogue here. So everything in here is free. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through this, talk you through what we've got, and we'll do some crafting as well with some of the stuff. I've got a cup of tea because I did a lot of talking in the last video. So I'm just going to check my setup, make sure that I'm live in all the right places. I did try and go live in the event that I created, but hey ho, it worked this morning, but it didn't work now. So we'll see how we go. At least I can see the comments, which I've been having problems with recently. So let me just gather all my bits together, make sure I've got everything I need to hand. My room is going to look like a bomb site by the end of the day, I suspect. It usually does after my launch events, but I do enjoy them. I am looking forward to the time, I don't know when I can actually do some in-person events rather than just always online. I know there's lots of you there. I've been trying, it's been on my mind since I moved to the Isle of Man to have a crafty weekend getaway. But with all of the COVID stuff that's going on, it's just not sensible really to try and plan anything because we just don't know. I had hoped to try and do something in February, but then Omicron came along and who knows what the year brings, but we will get there. In my last live, Sally asked a really good question, which was, when am I going to start doing online crafting sessions again? So where we do craft for specific projects. So I do it 2 ways. I do either an online class or mystery stamping. So if you're interested in doing either of those 2 things, then do let me know. If you're interested in online classes, then leave me a comment letting me know what stamp set or bundle you'd like the class to focus on, because what I tend to do with the class is I focus it on a specific stamp set or bundle, and we make projects using just that. Otherwise it gets a bit difficult for you to join in if you don't have all of it. And normally what I do is if you buy the bundle in question, then you get the class for free. So if I've got enough people who are interested in doing an online class in a particular bundle, then I'll have a look and see what I can do. So anyway, let's get on with we've got a few more people in. Hi Sally, hi again. Kat, hi. Good to have you here. Now let's see, why am I not seeing those comments? There we go. It keeps cutting out for you. It seems all right on my feed, so I don't know. I'm going to just keep going. If it really has a problem, then just dip out, dip back in again. And if all else fails, you can just watch it on the replay. So anyway, as I said, I went through the main catalogue this morning, so you can watch that on the replay. Now we're going to go through the celebration catalogue. So this is a lot smaller, so I've got time to do a bit of crafting as well. So, as I said, celebration runs until the 28th of February. And so the first item we've got here is the Island Vibes stamp set. So that's free with a £45 purchase. Oh, Sally, it's cutting out on you too. Hang on a second. Let's see, it seems to be working fine this end. Let me just check. I'm just going to check my internet connection. Hi Lynn, good to have you. While I think of it, if somebody wouldn't mind sharing this video into the Stampin' Jack's VIP group, please. That'd be really, really helpful. And if you want to share it other places on Facebook, that would also be great. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, then give it a thumbs up. That'd be fantastic. Okay. So my internet seems to be fine. Ooh. Somebody's angry. Who's angry? All right. Okay. Let's just crack on and see how we go. So, as I say, the first one here is this Island Vibe. So you got your pineapple, and this kind of does sort of like a cornery image. Next is this free Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. So we're going to be, one of the projects I've got with you this morning is using that. So this coordinates with the Daffodil Daydream bundle. So there's a couple of products in here that coordinate with products that are in the mini catalogue. So if you were to purchase the Daffodil Daydream bundle, which is stamp set and dies, which I'll show you in a minute, at £51.25, you could get the paper for free. So I really like this paper. I like that it's got that sort of dark background, very vivid, bright images. It's got a vanilla background as well rather than white, so it's got a lovely feel to it. So we'll have a little bit of a play with that. Next up is the Catching Butterflies stamp set. So I think this is just really, really cute. Look at this, I managed to step on my case last night. It was on the floor. Shouldn't put stuff on the floor, but anyway. So yeah, this is just a really cute little stamp set. I really like that. Then we've got Driving By. So again, this is another, let's check the comments. Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm just making sure I can see what's going on. Okay, so yeah, again, we've got some nice cute little images, really easy to colour, and some nice little sentiments. So that's a sweet little, so again, this is good for kiddies cards, mail cards, just fun. Really, really like that one. Next up is my favourite item from this celebration, and that is the Sunshine and Rainbows paper. Now I've already used this on a couple of cards, so I've used it on here. There's a bit more of it. Can't find the other cards that I've used it on, but it's just super gorgeous, super bright. But you can see also some of the reverses of it are quite muted, good for masculine cards. So we're going to be playing with that. That's one of our projects for today, so I'll go through that in a bit more detail. So again, this coordinates with the Rainbow of Happiness bundle, which is here. So it's this stamp set, and we've got some coordinating dies. So we'll go through that in a few minutes once we do that project. But yeah, this would be my #1 pick from this catalogue. So if you bought the bundle and then you added on, so it's £41.25. So if you added on something, I don't know, a pack of dimensionals or bit of glue or something small, or a bit of ribbon or something, then you'd be able to get the paper for free, so which is really, really good. Then we've got the Simply Marvelous paper. I really, really like this. So this is, it's got like it's double-sided, and one side is kind of like, looks like silk, and the other side is kind of marbled effect. So you've got pink, like that, and you can see it's a really big pack. There's loads in here. You've got gorgeous yellow, you've got purple, kind of an aqua colour, grey, and blue. So really, really love it. I think this create great backgrounds. Lot of fun. If you look here, you can see it's been used as a full background here, or it's been used as an element here. So you can colour coordinate the rest of your images with it to create a nice set of cards. So this is a really, really nice one. I love this. We had paper something like this a few years ago, and I just used it all the time. So let's do that one. Pop that back in its bag. So this has 48 sheets of 6x6 paper, which is good. Diane says she loves that paper. Which paper is that, Diane? Is that the rainbow paper? Just going to try and refresh the comments. There it is. It's come through. Okay, so you seem to be sorting. Okay, right. Okay, so that's the Simply Marvelous. Then we've got the awesome Otters. So every celebration we seem to have some sort of cute critter. We had some pandas, we had zebras, I think we had goats one year. It's sheep another year. So we've got some super cute little otters here. Again, very easy line images to colour if you want. I like that You Are Utterly Awesome. But I like that it's birthday time too. Oh, Kat, I'm so sorry that you're not getting a good connection. I hope it's not me. If anybody else is having serious problems, I might stop and start again, so do let me know. But it seems to be coming through okay on my other device. All right, so all of these are free with a £45 purchase. Then we have 2 items at the back which are free with a £90 purchase. So we've got the Hello Friend, the Friendly Hello stamp set, and the coordinating paper. So you get the paper and the stamp set. So I love the stamp set. It's really, really fab. I've already used it. I've used the sentiment here quite a few times. I love that big, bold Hello Friend. I used it on others. Yeah, I've used it on this one as well. So these are cards that used using our new masks. So yeah, super cute, super. So, and then you've got like the bird and the flowers. So it's a great all-round set. And then the papers are really lovely. They're really bright and fresh. I'm just going to show them to you now. So you've got like sort of pool party and granny apple green. And so you've got, again, usual double-sided designs. You can see I've been playing with this. So I like this spot. It's really, really nice. So you've got sort of petal pink, Highland heather, garden green, pool party, and then you've got the black on there as well. So just really, really lovely, lovely papers here. Yeah, they're just repeats the ones I've already shown you. So this one you get, 12 sheets of paper, and then you get the stamp set as well. So if your order is £90, then you can order this one. As I say, we're going to make a project with that this morning. And then finally, we have the Special Moment stamp set. So this is also a £90 purchase. So this is a massive stamp set. There's 21 different stamps in here. So you can see they're photopolymer, but the sentiments are just lots of different sentiments. So you got great, I love the font on here. So happy birthday, just a card to say you're amazing with sympathy, congratulations, I have something for you, good for treats, just a little hi from me, good luck, thanks, hello. The thing I like about you is everything. So it's a really wide selection of sentiments here, and again, lovely mix of fonts. So that's definitely well worth a £90 purchase. So like that, you can see here they've paired it with lots of other different products around our catalogue. Okay. Then during celebration, so normally when you host, and when we call it host, it basically means any order that goes above £150 qualifies for host credits. So it's 10%, and then if you go up further, the percentages grow. But during celebration, if your order goes above £275, then you get the Calming Camellia stamp set for free. You don't need to do anything, it just gets added to your order for free, which is really, really good. The other thing that's happening during celebration only is we've got a special joining offer. So if you've got a massive wish list, I know a lot of you who've been on here have been demonstrators with me before. So you know that, you can join up simply to get the discount, which is about 20% on all your purchases. And to stay a demonstrator, you need to purchase or sell, whichever you do. Most of us just buy, we don't really sell. You don't have to sell. So as long as you put through £300 worth of purchases in every quarter, then you stay a demonstrator. If you don't do that, then you just stop being a demonstrator. You don't have to give back your kit. There's no email or contact saying, why haven't you done what you're supposed to do? It's none of that. It's very easy. You just stop being a demonstrator, and you can sign back up straight away. If you want to as well. So it's a great way, if you love your Stampin' Up stuff, it's a great way to get your stuff at a discount. But when you join, you get, ordinarily, any time of the year that you join, you get to purchase £130 worth of product for just £99. So you get £31 of product for free, and that's all year round, all the time. And you don't have to pay postage. So it's a really good deal any time of the year. But during celebration, what you can do is you can pick any 2 stamp sets from either the mini catalogue or from the annual catalogue for free. So you could pick the 2 most expensive stamp sets in the catalogue. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. But you just pick them and you add them to your order for free. So that's a really good way. If you've got a big list of what you'd like from this catalogue, there are a couple of options for you. You can join the stamp club, and that allows you to spread the cost, so you can purchase your items in bits every month. So you build what you want gradually. Or if you're the big bang and you want it all now, then joining is the best way to do it, because you get an extra 30 quids for free and you get 2 stamp sets. So you're more likely to be able to get more of what's on your wish list for that. It's dead easy to do. I'll post the link after this. All you need to do is go onto my website, click the link to join and sign up. It's as easy as that. And you can pick any items that you want to go in your starter kit. It's very, very easy. And as I say, there's a couple of you on here who either are or have been demonstrators with me at various points in the past. So hopefully you'll be able to testify is a bit strong a word. You'll be able to agree or tell people that just how easy it is. Okay. So now let's do some crafting, shall we? So I'm just going to grab a cup of tea. Okay, so Sally's seems to have settled down. That's good. Right, so let's start with my favourite, which is the Sunshine and Rainbows paper. Okay, so this is the paper that's free. It is absolutely beautiful. It's just so bright and happy and cheerful, and I love the mix of the bold sort of stripes and patterns, and then you've got much more subtle patterns that you can use in other ways, and then you've also got your rainbows as well. So really, really fun, happy paper. This paper here coordinates with our Cloud Punch, which is new. in the catalogue. So you can punch out these. So if you wanted to, you could get the punch and the bundle together, and then you'd qualify to get the paper for free. But we're not going to use the punch this morning. Okay, so look at this. The colours and just, oh, everything about it just makes me smile. It's just, there's not a single piece of this paper that I'm like, nah, I don't know. My problem is going to be which side. So here, look at this. Which side of this am I going to use? How do you choose between those two? So thankfully, the paper is, there's lots of it. There's like 48 sheets in here. Lots and lots and lots. And it's on quite a few of my projects over the course of today. It just, we've got full rainbows. So I love this navy one. And then that's just a repeat. So you can see, is it 48? Yep. 48 6x6 sheets. Fabulous, fabulous paper. Absolutely gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the dies in here. So I've got this die here, okay, which I showed you earlier on this morning, cuts out this shape. Okay, so what I've done ahead of time, so you don't have to watch me do it, got my card base. I've taken four of the patterns here. So there's a flamingo, melon mambo, night of navy, and granny apple green, and I have just cut the piece out. Okay, now I've kept these bits because these can be used again on another card. Okay, but what I've got now is I've got in each color, move that out of the way, you can see, I'm going to arrange these. I've got the 4 pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to arrange these so we can see, make sure I've got all the bits that I want. So doing it this way means I can actually make 4 cards because of what I'm going to do. So it's a great way to do multiples, but for today I'm just going to do one of them. Okay, and then that's that. I've also die cut some clouds using, you can see in here, we've got a couple of clouds. So this one does 2 and they're 2 singles. So I love it when we've got multiples of little bits like that in our die sets, because it makes it easier. And I'm just looking, there we go. So there's 2 of the clouds. Just looking for the others, what we've done with them. And they've fallen out, so it's not a problem. We can manage. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Right. And then what I'm going to use some of our foam adhesive strips. As I say, I've got a Whisper White card base and I've got a Night of Navy layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my white piece to my Night of Navy. But before I do that, I'm going to do a bit of stamping. Okay, so put those to one side. So I'm going to use Night of Navy. And I'm going to stamp the You Make Me Happy. Okay. I'm going to do that on a strip of white. Just grab a scrap. So I keep all these different strips of cardstock when I trim down my card so that I can use them for sentiments. I'm just trying to find one that's the right width that I want. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to stamp that. like so. And then I'm going to, we've got some little hearts here. So I'm just going to grab those. Here they are. And using my Flirty Flamingo, over here. So I'm just going to stamp off and just add a few little hearts onto there like that. Okay, so now I'm ready to glue this down. So first of all, let's close up our ink pads, otherwise that could get nasty. Okay, so I'm going to just glue this down. Grab the right glue. Yep. Okay, so we just need to be a little bit careful down the bottom here because it's very, very thin. So just very, very lightly. I'm not really even squeezing my glue bottle, as you can see. I'm just spreading the glue that's kind of already on the tip. So these bits are thin, but they're wide enough to be able to quite easily say, I'm not actually squeezing my glue, I'm just, now I'm squeezing it. So can you see the difference? When I squeeze, I get a bead, but when I just have a little bit in the tip and allow it to just drag, I get these little dots. Okay, so we just want to make sure that that's nicely covered. And then we're going to lay that down onto our Night of Navy piece. Okay. There we go. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pieces and just select how I want. They're just going to basically fit back in. And I'm just going to put that one there. So it doesn't matter what order. Okay, so I've done mine this way. So then what you can do is for others, is you just mix up your pieces so I can make another 4 cards with these. Okay, so I could just stick them down like that, just do an inlay, but I want to pop them up. So I want to use my foam adhesive strips for these because these are perfect for this. So all I'm going to do is just get my strips started. So these are in the annual catalogue. Okay. Yeah. So all I need to do is so, and then trim. Okay, and just repeat that for each one. You could use dimensionals, but I think the strips are just easier. And also means that you've got support for the paper all the way along. So they just stand up a bit better than they would do if they were just, if it was dimensionals. Try and see which is the stickier side. Here we go. Okay, and then we start a new strip. These are also great for doing like shaker cards because, as you see, you can create a solid continuous line of foam adhesive, which again you could do with your dimensionals, but you use up quite a lot of them actually and you wouldn't be sure. So let's just get where's the sticky side? There it is. There you go. Okay, and then with our spare bit we can just slot it back in onto the sheet like so. Alright, so now we're ready to adhere. Oh dear, I've put this on the wrong side of my paper. Rookie mistake. Never mind. I hadn't pressed it down hard, so I can put it on the other side. So make sure that when you're doing this, you use the correct side of your paper. Okay, so that's the green. I mean, they will go that way as well. But obviously, we want all of ours to go the same way as each other. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, and then we have our You Make Me Happy. So I'm just going to trim this off. I'm going to... So here's a trick if you want to do your ends. Okay, so I've cut this off, and then what I'm going to do is just use the other end as my template, and that means I get the angle right on both ends, like so. Okay, and I'm just going to glue that on because I don't need... So what I'm going to do is just put a little dot of glue on each of the rainbows, like that. And then just lay this across the top. There we go. And then we'll grab some... Let's see what we've got. I think I'm going to use... So we could use our new hexagons because we've got the pink, or we could use our polished dots for a slightly more subtle effect. So what do you think? Oops. Oops. Silky marble one. Oh, you're back, Kat. That's excellent. I'm glad, because I think this is probably going to be your favourite. I can imagine you enjoying this one. So do you think we should use the hexagons or the dots? And so whilst you're deciding that, I will stick this down to our white card base. And there we go. So you can see the colour underneath. So again, you could change this colour. I've gone for navy. You could have gone for any one of the colours that are in here, or a contrasting colour. It's entirely up to you. And now I have all of these pieces ready to make another card. So I could, if I wanted to, I don't have to cut out this piece. I could just lay them onto a card base like that. Yeah, could lay them flat. I could pop them up again like I did the other one. There's lots that you can do. Okay, really, really fun. All right, so have we got any comments? I think we've got a bit of a delay. So we've got our clouds as well. So I'm just going to add those. I'm going to do these with glue dots. That glue dot didn't come off. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to go for my polished dots because I want quite a subtle effect. So I'm just going to use the clear ones. There we go. Okay, so that's our first card. So that's using the, which is my top pick from the celebration goodies, freebies, is the Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper, along with the Rainbow of Happiness bundle. So you can see that I've actually copied or taken inspiration from the sample that's in here. So this is what I was saying before, is, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, how do I'm not sure where to get inspiration from or wherever. And there's lots of places that you can do it. But for me, the first place to start is actually to look in the catalogue, because if you look here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 project ideas for this paper. And quite often I find when it comes to stuff like this is that once you get started with a thing, then the ideas start to flow. You've just got to get that first project out there. So copying something else is a good first start. So I've started out by copying this, but ended up with something that we've added a few different elements to it, and you've made it your own, and you've changed the colours and all sorts of things. So that's a really great way to just kind of get your creativity going, especially with new stuff. And as I say, all of our catalogues are absolutely packed full of ideas. So it's much easier, I would say, to do that than to go to Pinterest. Because sometimes Pinterest can be, whilst it's fantastic, it can just be a black hole. You go in there, 5 hours later you come back out, and actually it's kind of a bit overwhelming. There are just too many project ideas on there for you to be able to kind of pick one out. And the other thing is that when a Stampin' Up! Catalogue is quite new, the other thing that tends to happen is that there aren't that many projects on there sometimes, because people haven't had time, there hasn't been lots of samples made, or people haven't made lots of projects with it yet, so it can be a bit difficult. So that's where your catalogues are really, really good. And of course, you know, your friendly local demonstrator who is making samples for you. So as I say, that's my top pick for celebration. So when you put your order in, I would make that your first priority, is to get this paper. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll be giving away some of these over the next couple of days, because I've got extras, so you may be able to get your hands on them without having to put an order in. Should be even better. Right, so the next project, I keep putting this catalogue away and needing to bring it back in. So the next project is using the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper, and I'm going to use the Coordinating Daffodil Daydream bundle. Now, of course, you don't have to get the suggested product in order to get the paper. You can buy anything and get the paper. It just that they make it so that they coordinate with one another, but you don't have to get the Daffodil bundle to get the paper. You just have to spend the requisite amount of money. So, I'm just going to grab my bits. So first of all, let's show you the paper, because I don't think I did that earlier on. So as you can see, I've already been cutting and playing with this one. So we've got some really, really bold patterns, and you see we've got a very vanilla background. Most of our papers are Whisper White, or Basic White as it's now called. And I like this gingham. This one is really, really good, because all you have to do is, if you cut it in half like that and then trim it down this way, you can get 6 card fronts. So if I show you like that, okay, and then all you need to do is just put a sentiment across the top. And if you see in one of the samples here, that's what they've done. They've just cut this paper, put it on the card front, and added a sentiment. Very, 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 very easy. I like bold paper like this, because it just kind of does all the heavy lifting for you on a card. You don't have to add a lot extra. This is lovely, very sort of tropically. So this is got Evening Evergreen in here, and this is Sweet with the hearts. Again, black background with the daffodils. I think this is Pale Papaya. I love this, just black crisscross. I love it. I really love papers that have got a dark background like this. They're really, really dramatic. So I've got one sample for you here. So this is using this paper here, okay? And you can see how easy it is. All I've done is just cut a piece to my card front and added a sentiment. Now that sentiment is from the excuse me, it's from the Flowering Rain Boots Stampin' die sets that Live Life in Full Bloom, but I thought that really suited the images. So that's the thing about paper like this, is that when you've got really busy paper, personally anyway, I tend to just let the paper take center stage. I don't put a lot of adornment or embellishment or anything on there because it just gets really busy. Just let the paper shine. I mean, what you could do is you could add some Wink of Stella, a couple of gems maybe if you wanted to bling it up a bit. But there's a really easy card. And out of a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you would get probably, I would say, about at least six of these cards out of that. So given how many sheets of paper you can get, that's a lot of cards. But the card we're going to make is a little bit different. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you, here's the stamp set with the Daffodil Daydream. So you can see we've got these images which are lovely, dead easy to colour, good for watercolouring, blending, whatever you want. Fabulous splatter. We love a good splatter, a border, and then you've got Easter blessings and Happy Mother's Day. So this is really good. And then you've got the dies, which are layering dies. So when you look at these, you can see we've got the dies that actually cut out the two images, and then you've got all these other dies. And it's like, what on earth? How do they work? It's obvious these are stems and these are leaves, but then you've got all these different bits. So what I'm going to do is show you, they make two different flowers. So they make this full daffodil, so you can see you've got that layering effect. So you can do it all one color, but I've used Mango Melody and Daffodil Delight to create a 3D daffodil. And then this one is slightly different petal shape, but again, same 3D. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make these, and we're going to make a card with it. Okay, so if I just bring out the pieces so you can see. All right, so we've cut our stems. Okay, so you get two dies and it cuts the stems each way, which is handy. And then these are the leaves. So you get two dies which cuts the leaves going different ways as well, which is also good. Okay, so they're the easy bits. We'll put those to one side. Then what you've got is you've got these dies here that cut out these images. Okay, and then you've got these dies here which cut out these images, which are the detail, like so. Okay, so they layer up like that. Then you've got your trumpets. So you've got two trumpets, which are these solid dies here. Okay, so you get two of them, and then you get the detail. And they're fairly easy to spot and match up. They're pretty straightforward. Then you've got this image, which is for the like sort of sideways on daffodil. So these two together make this background, and then you can see this one is slightly different. It's like the sideways on daffodil, and that's what this one does. And this is the detail that goes with it. And then we're left with these bits, and I have to say, when I was first playing with them, I was going, what the hell? What on earth are these for? I had no idea. So I went and had a look in my book, and lo and behold, I could see that they go with this one here. So if you can see, all right, you've got these three, and then this. I knew that they layered on top of one another. I mean, that was they're not the layering ones. So you've got this one, and where is the other one? Haven't been able to put it back on my thingy. It must be sitting somewhere. So if I bring out here, you can see you've got the layer like that. Can you see that? Okay, so I'll have to have a look and see where that other piece is. I'm sure it's around somewhere. Here we go. So here is the main piece, and this is the detail. So these are the details. So I'm just going to very quickly cut out a little bit of the main one. So just let me grab a scrap. Let's move those to one side. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the full one here. Okay, these kind of remind me of the little the helicopters that you get with sycamore trees. Go. Okay, okay. There we are. Okay, so now let's bring our pieces back in. We have our base piece and our detail piece. Can you see that? Okay, so all I'm going to do now is using my glue, and I'm not worried about getting all the ends in everywhere, okay, because this is kind of a 3D sort of, it's got texture to it. So I'm just putting a bit of glue in the center and then just lining them up. Okay. Now I'm also thinking that I've done these in traditional daffodil colors, but I think that these would actually make a really nice flower in their own right. Look at that. So a non-daffodil flower, you just put a little, there's actually a little piece in here, this piece here, which you can cut out and put in the center. So you can create just regular flowers with this as well, which I think is really good. Okay, and then we're going to do the same with our trumpets. So again, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue, don't need a lot. And just line them up like so. Just checking the comments, making sure I'm not missing them. Just keep getting the repeats of your comments. Okay. And now, again, just tiny little dabs. Don't want to use too much, because otherwise what happens is it just oozes out and gets everything sticky. Okay, I've got this one here. And we've got this final one. So this is the kind of thing where I would, instead of just doing what you want for your specific card, is when you get your dies, just sit down and cut out a load of these. Just kind of do a bit in bulk, so then you've got some all already made up. Even if you don't stick them together, if you just do these bits, then you're ready to go when you want to make your card. Okay, so now I'm going to use my glue dots. We're going to assemble, so I'm going to use a glue dot. So I'm going to put 2 on here actually, because we're sticking down to something with a dimension on it. So we're going to just keep going round until we're happy with how it looks. Just offset the petals. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to use my mini dimensionals, which are here. Now again, you can use glue dots for this, but I like to use my minis because I just want a bit of extra dimension. Okay, and what you want to do then is just attach your trumpet. So you want to put the back bit here in the center of your flower, and where you want to point it, it's entirely up to you. Okay, so pop that on. And there we have our daffodil. Isn't that brilliant? And then the same here, although this does go a particular way. Whoop, sorry, just knocked my camera. Apologies. Okay, so this one does go a particular way. Okay, so you can do it just like that. Okay, but what you can also do, and what this is supposed to be, is, so it goes with the curvy bit at the bottom, and you just lay it across here to create that extra petal. Okay, you see that? And then we can put our trumpet like so. So now you've got your sideways on daffodil. There you got your two. Okay, and again that one you can face it whichever way you want. So they're really, really easy to assemble once you know what all the pieces are for. That was my challenge. So as I said, and then all you do is you just stick your stems to the back. I tend to use a glue dot. Okay, so as I said, I've already done two, like so. All right, so that's the dies. Let's do a bit of stamping. So I'm going to do the Easter blessings, and I'm going to stamp that in, I think I'm going to stamp it in black actually. So I'm going to grab my stays on. So I've just die cut a circle. You could use a punch or any circle dies that you've got. Okay, and then just stamp that down. I've caught an edge a little bit. Don't worry too much about that, because I'm also going to do a bit of backgroundy stamping, but I'm just looking for my scrap paper. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to take the butterfly. Yep. And using some Daffodil Delight. In fact, I'm going to use So Saffron because that's a lighter colour. You could, the dies do cut out this butterfly, so you could die cut it, but I don't want too much here because there's a lot of dimension on the actual images themselves, so, or the dies. Okay, so now I have a Whisper White card base, and then I have another layer of Whisper White, and then I've got a piece of that paper, so you've got that gorgeous black and white pattern, and then you've got this, I think it's Mango Melody actually, and I'm just going to attach that along the bottom, like so, so just going to glue that down. And then I've got some of our white seam, crinkle seam binding ribbon, which is in the annual catalogue, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that. When I put designer series paper onto anything, I always like to create a border at the edge. It just seems to help integrate it a little bit. Always looks better with a border, be that a piece of ribbon or twine or just a piece of cardstock. It just finishes it off There you go. Alright, so I'll trim that in a moment. So Easter Blessings is probably going to go about here somewhere. So now I'm going to arrange my flowers. Okay, so let's just pull them back in or wherever I put them. Here we are. Okay, and I'm not worried about it going off the edge because I've got a little bit more room. It's just a layer on my card base. See that? I don't need to worry too much about that. Okay, and then we've got our leaves. So what I like to do is just arrange what I want. So, and then I want a piece in behind here, I think, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put the Easter Blessings there, and you'll see why in just a moment, because I'm going to cheat on sticking my things down. So now that I have them where I want them, I'm going to take some double-sided tape. So rather than trying to pick them up, put glue on them, stick them back down, trying to remember where they were supposed to be, because they never go back exactly where you wanted them to, I'm just going to use my double-sided tape to secure the stems in place like that, and then I'm going to use my dimensionals again, and I'm going to put them on either side, so you can see my sentiment is this way, so I'm just putting them either side so they sit on top of the stems. Go. And then what I can do is I can, using my pokey tool and my glue dots, so I can just take a glue dot. I'm going to put a couple because they're quite heavy. I'm trying to find the beginning of my glue dots. Okay, so I just pop them like that, and then I can stick my flower heads down where I want them to be. You can add more if you want to put some along the stems, if you're worried about how secure it is. You can add more glue if you want, but I didn't want to put too much on there. And then I think we're going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella to this. So I'm just going to put it on the trumpets of my flowers. There we go. And then we're going to bring back in those dots that I used a second ago. I'm just going to add a couple of those. Oops. It's got stuck to me rather than my card. There we go. And then we're just going to stick that down so we can trim our stems a little. And then glue this to our card base. So as I say now, if you purchase the Daffodil bundle, it automatically entitles you on its own to a celebration freebie. So you could get this paper for free when you buy the Daffodil bundle. So there you go. There's 2 ideas for the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper, free with a £45 purchase. Okay, so that's our second project. Let's just have a bit of a tidy up now whilst I get ready for our final one. As usual, when I get going, my stuff just goes everywhere. So, given that I've got quite a few sessions to get through today, I thought I better try my best to keep tidy as I go. Otherwise, I'm pretty much out of space already. Okay, that's that. Put them all away, knowing that in 5 seconds flat I'm going to be taking them all back out again, but at least I know where they are. Right, so these spare pieces, I'm just going to pop them into my stamp set, into my case here. Okay, so when I next come to use my stamps, I've got the dies already there, ready to go. So, okay. How are we doing for comments? I'm just trying to seem to have lost. I hope we're still live because my internet connection doesn't seem to be that great. So just 1 second. Let's make sure that I'm still going. I am still going, but let's make sure that I'm still broadcasting. So if you're still with me, leave me a comment so I know you're here. And let me know of the celebration stuff. What's your favourite? What will be your top pick out of that, out of the celebration catalogue? Right. Oh, okay, fine. You can see you've all been giving me lots of comments. Dots, dots, dots. Everyone loves the dots. Daffodils. Okay, right. Okey-dokey. Okay, so next up, I'm going to play with the Daffodils. Diane, you're here. Excellent. One of these days, I'll be able to see your comments. I used to be able to see your comments all the time as they were coming in, and I really enjoyed being able to have that conversation with you guys, even allowing for the slight lag that you get on Facebook, but it just seems to be getting worse and worse. Worser and worser, as they say. Okay. So, we said next up is our friendly hello. So this is a stamp set and paper. So you get both of these together when you spend £90. Okay. So what I've done here is I've got a Granny Apple Green card base, Whisper White layer. I've cut a strip of this card, so you can see it's got the stripe on one side and just I love the bright fresh green of this. Okay, so I'm going to just make a strip along one side, and then I've got a strip of Granny Apple Green here. Okay, like so. So there we go, and then I've die cut a circle. Okay, and then I've got a scrap. And I've also, using our little leaf punch, I've just punched out some black leaves. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my sentiment. I'm going to do the hello friend. I love this. You can see I've already used it lots. I love this sentiment. So before I do anything, move the paper out of the way. Okay, we've got this bit here. So I'm going to make sure that I stamp my sentiment first, because then that tells me where the rest of this has to go. Okay, so line it up. So I'm just going to stamp it in the top right hand corner and hope that I get it straight. Fingers crossed for me, guys. Yes, excellent. Woohoo. Okay, so now that tells me where I can put my paper. So again, as I was saying on the last card, whenever I put a strip of paper onto a card, I do like to finish it off with either a ribbon or a piece of cardstock. So for this one, I think, yeah, we're just going to leave a little gap at the bottom, and then we're going to add just a strip of Granny Apple Green to the top, and then you have that. So even just that by itself is a really cool card. As I say, I just love how fresh it looks with the Granny Apple Green and the white, and then obviously the pop of black really sets it off. Okay, so let's just line that up with just a little border down the bottom. And then we'll take our Granny Apple Green piece. Again, you could use ribbon if you want, but I want something kind of clean because we're going to add a bit of detail to it now. There we go. Okay, so we can pop that to one side for a minute. I'm going to bring in my scrap, and I'm going to stamp up my, stamp these flowers, okay? And I'm going to fussy cut them out, which I know will fill some of you with horror, but actually they're quite easy to fussy cut. It's not that big a deal. So I'm going to ink them up. Use your memento for this if you want. You don't even have to use black. You can use whatever colour you like. Okay, and again, we've got leaves here, which you could stamp and cut out, but for ease, I just punched out my leaves here. You can use any old leaves. Okay, and then I'm going to colour my flowers, but I'm just going to do it really, really simply. I'm just going to use a sponge dauber, and I'm going to use some pink. So I think I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo. So I want something quite subtle. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a dauber. There we go. And all I'm going to do is put my scrap in. See, I'm just adding a hint. So again, if you're not that confident with your colouring, don't be put off by line images like this. You can see it's actually really, really easy. You could get your blends or your watercolour pencils or whatever it is and really go to town on them. But actually just adding a little dab of colour in the centre like this, it's more than enough. You see that? Isn't that super? Dead easy. So as I say, don't be put off by line art images, especially of flowers. Flowers are so easy to colour in. You just put a dab of colour in the middle and blend it out a bit. Very, very simple. So don't be afraid. Now I'm just going to quickly just cut these out. So as you can see, I tend to move my paper rather than my scissors. It gives me a little bit more control. It gives me smoother cuts. Just leaving a little gap around the edge of my flowers. But you can see this is not hard to cut at all. And I'm not worried about it being exactly even all the way around. It's not important to me. Nearly there. I actually quite like fussy cutting. Some people detest it, but I don't mind it. Images like this where you don't have little skinny bits that you've got to try and go around like stems or legs on birds and things like that, that I find tricky. But we've got fairly solid images like this. It's actually quite easy. The key is to have a nice sharp scissors. So there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to wink of Stella these flowers, so that blends the colour even more. But you can see I just want something very, very subtle, and then obviously if you've been putting your wink of Stella on over a colour, do just wipe it off a little bit before you put it away, otherwise you might end up with the colour pulled on. So we've got our white piece here, we've got our flowers, and then we have our leaves. There we go. So we'll pop our flowers up. But before I do that, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to fluff up the petals a little bit, just to give it a little bit of extra dimension. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put my dimensionals in the middle here so that it allows the petals to lift up. And then I'm just going to take some blue dots. Here's my little leaves. This would also look really nice with some vellum leaves. Okay. There we go. And then as a finishing touch, I'm going to bring back in our dots here, and I'm going to use the pinky ones. So these are our polished dots. There we go. And then we'll pop that up. Again, I'm putting my dimensionals kind of on the top and the bottom because it's going to go over something that's slightly raised, which is that piece of cardstock. Doesn't matter a lot, but if we had a ribbon on there, that would make a difference. So as I say, we could have added a ribbon like we did in the other card, but I just wanted to keep it fairly simple because I knew I had all this going on. There we go, and then I'm actually going to pop this up. I'm using my minis because I can't find my big sized ones. They're around. I'll find them at the end of today probably. Isn't that how it normally goes? So Lynn's favourite favourites are Driving By and the Otters. Yeah, they are super sweet. And like I said, those little car images I think would be dead easy. Very cute. But Lynn, I know you like critters on your cards, don't you? Put them on there a lot. But yeah, I like those little cars. And like that you could cut out, especially the little beetle. If you cut it, did it, and then sort of cut the, if I grab the set, I'll show you what I mean. So here, if you actually cut off the presents, and you just did those and those and make a really good little boy's card. You could put them all over if you wanted to stamp them all over. So there we go. There's our third card using the Friendly Hello stamp set and celebration papers. So that is this one here. So again, if you look, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 project ideas just for these. And that's, I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't tell you enough to look at your catalogues for ideas of how to use your products. They're a great starting point, and like that, sometimes the hardest thing about being creative is getting going. Once you get going, then you tweak this, you fix that, you change that, and actually you end up with something really quite different to perhaps what you were starting to aim at. But if you don't tweak it, what you'll end up with is something that you like because you picked it out. So you'll always end up with something, rather than sometimes if you start with just a blank piece of paper or a blank piece of card, what you end up with is half-finished project, and they're no good. We don't like them. So there we go. Let's bring back in the cards that we made. Now it's time for you guys to vote. So we have the rainbows, we have the daffodils, and we have the Hello Friend. So let me know which one of these 4 is your favourite. Now, for the rest of the day, so we've got another session at 2:30, which is using the flowering tulips stamp set and dies. So the tulips are a bit like the daffodil dies. They're layering dies that creates a sort of like 3D tulip flower, which is really, really fun. So we'll be making some cards with that. So do join me for that. If you haven't done so already, go on to the post that's asking for your numbers. Make sure you leave me your 5 numbers, any numbers between 1 and 25 for bingo tonight, which is at 8 o'clock. Over this afternoon, there's going to be some posts. I have decided against my usual scavenger hunt because that's just too labour intensive for all of us. So I've done things a little bit differently, where I've just put one post where I've asked you to find a certain number of things in the catalogue, and you get a point for each one that you find. But if you find one that hasn't already been found, then you get an extra point, and all of those entries will go into a draw that on next Wednesday's live I will pick a winner, and there'll be a prize. So we'll have a couple of posts like that, a couple of fun things going on. I don't want to overwhelm you today with lots of stuff that's happening, but as I say, we'll be back again at 2:30 with flowering tulips. So let's have hi Angie, welcome. Diane says, so Sally likes the daffodils, Diane likes the rainbow, Lynn likes all of them, Angie likes the Hello Friend, Kat likes the rainbows. I think we knew that, Kat, didn't we? There's never really any doubt about rainbows. So I'm glad you like them all. As I say, these are the items that you can get for free when you place an order. So let me know. You've already let me know. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you again at 2:30. Cheerio. Bye.